So the last section, a lot of students are just asking for advice. So we, I mean, we're doing this project, we want to do something, right?
Mhm.
Our students want to give back in the same way that you do, but some of them are scared, some of them are shy. And some of them believe that, voting doesn't matter. Some of them are having time problems with time management and mental health. So just overall advice for, getting started, staying motivated, balancing helping others with helping yourself.
You know what? These are all great questions. Let me start with the first one. What advice do you have for those who want to give back to their communities the same way you do? I think each of the students need to realize, whether you want to or not, you are role models. You are role models to people within your family, people within your community, people within your church. What you do is going to affect what they do. They may not come up and tell you, but people are always watching you. Okay. And, it's always good to be able to say what it is you want to do. And the only way you're going to be able to determine that is that you need to interact and network with your teachers. Teachers are very powerful in terms of helping children to, I should say students rather, develop what it is you want to do. Okay. And depending on what major you want to major in, what would be the best college to go to, and they could even give you advice as well as mentors. And I think all students need mentors. I mean, your parents are mentors, your church, you can find mentors, you can find mentors in the community, whether you're playing sports or you're involved in some type of after school activity, but you need to interact with them because your teachers have already done, okay, what you've done. They've already are in their careers. They've already experienced some of the setbacks. And if we're wise, we'll sit down and listen so that we don't have to make some of the same mistakes, okay, that they made, or we can avoid making some of the mistakes. And then we also want to make sure that we got to be very conscious of who we associate with, okay? Now, that's not to say that you're better than anybody else, but I think we all know our friends and we know which ones that are really trying to do something with their lives. We know that some that may not necessarily be sure. And the ones that are not sure, that's where we can come in and help them by being a positive influence on them. And that's a way in which we can give back. And then we also want to help our siblings, help our cousins, help our nieces, okay? Because like I said, you are a role model, whether you want to be one or not. The next question is says, some people have the idea that their vote doesn't matter. I would say that's absolutely incorrect. Your vote does matter, okay? And that was proven during the elections, okay? And the only way we're going to bring about a change is by voting. If we continue to sit on the sideline, we can't make any changes to the game. The only way you're going to make any changes to the game is you got to get in the game. And the most important thing that we can do as it pertains to the vote is where you live. Okay, when you become of age, and I think they're allowing students to register at 17, you're able to vote at 18. But we should make sure that we do that because you don't want people representing you who do not have your or your community's interests, okay, at heart. And again, by having conversations with, your parents, conversations with members of the church, with the community, with your teachers, to better understand. And a lot of the students know some of the things that may need to be improved within the community. I know students will often say, well, we need more summer jobs. Well, that's part of your representative to make sure they get more summer jobs for your area. Well, we need to have more things for high school students to do when they're out of high school so that minimizes or eliminate the mischief, where you got to have activities for kids to do. If you don't, that creates a lot of mischief. It leaves a lot of idle time, okay? We need to make sure that our infrastructure at our schools is up to date. We need to make sure we have the latest technology, okay, within our school so that we can be better prepared to compete once we get in college. That's all going to come about as a vote. We need to make sure that there's AP classes for everybody, not just for a certain few. Now, people will have the choice, as to whether or not they want to take an AP class or a regular class. But as the teachers explain to them the difference in how it better prepares you for college, I think everybody would want to do that. And then you get to the point to where I'm having some trouble with a certain subject and I need more work. Well, schools have budgets. Okay, the vote also has an impact on the budget to get more resources for your school. So if we need more teachers because we got too many students to teachers, that could be fixed through the vote. And I think uh, I think that covers everything on that. The next question it has, what advice do you have regarding time management and maintaining mental health? Time management is so critical, and there's a direct correlation between time management and mental health. If you're always stressed out in terms of going to school, studying, okay, going to work, or doing anything in life, you can't do anything if you don't have good health. And one way of having good health, you have to be concerned about your diet. You need to make sure that you're exercising, and you need to make sure that you lay your classes out in a timely manner. And that takes some time, but it's worth it to say, well, first period is from such and such all the way through sixth period. And then you need to have time in which you have to study. Okay. And then if you're going to be working part-time, you need to have time to do that. Or if you're going to be playing sports, you need to have time to do that. But it all has to be laid out. And that's where time management becomes critical so that you can get things done. And then you also need to have some social time. Okay. And I always tell people, or students rather, treat it like an 8-hour day job. Okay. You don't want to be studying, okay, 24 hours a day. And you don't want to have to be taking no-dos in order to wake up in the middle of the night to try to get some work done. Okay. But if you treat it like an 8-hour day job, okay, after 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, now I got time to hang out with my friends. I got time to listen to some music. I got time to socialize. I got time to go to a movie. But if you know, don't manage your time properly from 8, okay, until 5 or 6 o'clock, that's going to create a problem. Now, I know some students will say, well, you know what? I'm not a early morning person. And my response to that would be, you probably need to change that because even though they have jobs where you can start at 12 midnight and get off at 8 o'clock in the morning, you probably don't want that type of a job. Or you can go to work at 4 o'clock and get off at 12 o'clock midnight. You know, the best time, especially when you're trying to do something that's constructive and it's going to help move you towards your goals, you want to make sure that you can get things done during your productive hours. And your productive hours are going to be between 8, okay, and 6 o'clock. The next question I think they had on here is, do you have any other advice or things you wish you would have known when you were younger? And the answer to that question is yes. And I wish that I had started networking sooner in life because you don't realize that a lot of your students that you see right now, you don't see what they're going to be in the future. Okay. But if you make sure you start networking now, and I had this happen to me when I graduated from college, I had a friend of mine because we had networked so well, had recommended me getting a job at Xerox. Okay. And I was able to get that job because he was on the inside. And one of the things that we have to do is that once God has blessed us, okay, and improved our quality of life, we should want to be advocates to try to improve the quality of life for somebody else because all we need sometimes is some encouragement, some motivation, and somebody sharing information. And we all know it's not what you know, but who you know when you want to move up. Now, a lot of students may not necessarily understand that now, but as they get older, they will, because certain jobs are not advertised. And especially a lot of the good paying jobs are not advertised. But if you got somebody that's on the inside and you've done that networking with them, and this is networking with all races, okay? Because when you need a job, you're not concerned about just going to a certain race to get a job. You're concerned about getting a job that's going to pay a livable wage or a wage that's going to allow you to be able to buy you a home, save for your kids to go to college, be able to take nice vacations, be able to live in an affluent neighborhood, be able to provide for your kids. Because if you have a daughter, a wedding costs a lot of money. You can't provide a nice wedding for your daughter on $15 an hour. Okay. If you're trying to send your kids to school, it's going to be difficult trying to send your kids to college on a job paying $15 an hour. And one of the things that we found out as a result of this pandemic is that the people, and I want to make this clear before I make this statement, every job has dignity, okay? And we shouldn't put anybody down depending on the job that they have, but we need to make sure that people understand there's a certain pay scale associated with certain jobs, okay? The less education you have, the lower that pay is going to be. The more education you have, the higher that pay is going to be. And when you look at $15 an hour, it is very difficult living in California making about $31,000 a year, and that's gross. That's before they take taxes out. So it's going to be even less than that. And it's easy for a person to wind up becoming depressed, doing things that are detrimental to his or her health, or feeling as though there's no hope. And there's always hope. And while college may not necessarily be for everybody, that doesn't stop a person, okay, from getting a job that has college tuition reimbursement. Now you've just avoided having to pay for college, okay? And so if the company is investing in you to go to college and they're paying for it, then you're going to be able to move up that corporate ladder a lot sooner. There might be some people who might decide that, I just want to become a certified skilled labor. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's still going to pay you more money. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's still going to require some training. It's still going to require some sacrifice, okay? And it's better to go ahead and do that sacrifice and take care of business. And then once you get in that good paying job, now you can do anything you want to do. And you're in a position to where you can give back and help other people.